In the opulent Tutankhamun's personal life was marked by physical ailments. Scientific analysis of his mummy reveals he had a clubfoot and walked with a cane. Over with him in his tomb. Then, after only a decade on the throne, tragedy struck. Around the age of 19, Pharaoh Tutankhamun died suddenly. The exact cause of his death has been debated for decades. Early theories suggested murder, perhaps a blow to the head. However, modern scans show the skull damage likely occurred during the mummification process. The current leading theory points to a combination of factors. This injury likely became badly infected, leading to gangrene. Combined with his weakened immune system and chronic malaria, the infection proved fatal. His unexpected death left a power vacuum and a crisis of succession. There was no male heir to take his place. The preparations for his burial had to be made in haste. The tomb he was buried in, KV 62, was unusually small for a pharaoh. It was likely a private tomb originally intended for a non-royal, perhaps his vizier. Aye. His own grander tomb was likely unfinished at the time of his death. Despite the rush, the funerary goods packed into the small space were breathtaking. 4 gilded shrines were nested one inside the other to protect the sarcophagus. Inside lay a series of 3 coffins, shaped in his image. The innermost coffin was made of over 240 pounds of solid gold. It held his mummified remains, adorned with the iconic death mask. The tomb was sealed, intended to remain undisturbed for eternity. After his death, his elderly vizier I ruled as pharaoh for a few short years. He was then succeeded by the military commander, Horemheb Gochidites. Horemheb initiated a campaign to erase the entire Amarna period from history. This included Akhenaten, his successors, and the boy king, Tutankhamun. Tutankhamun's name was omitted from official king lists. For over 3,000 years, Egypt.